is actually an IT professional by day, having worked for companies like Sun, Cisco Systems, SAP, and Avaya, where I met him yesterday. He also leads Collective, which you can find at Cubao X. He recently launched Haima with his partner, Rosie Yabut, a lifestyle and home design store in Cubao X. But he's here because he's one of the leaders of Lomo Manila, a community of Lomography enthusiasts. He is our Lomo leader, and his question is, why not Lomo? Why not shoot and have fun, mga kaibigan? Bong Rojales!
Thank you, Bam, and thank you, Mark, for inviting me. When I first attended WhyNotForum 1, I never thought that I was going to speak to everybody and be part of Why Not. Because lomography, who doesn't know about lomography? Who has an idea about lomography and who doesn't? Okay, I hope you know about lomography because I'm not going to talk much about lomography, but it's really about how we build the tribe around the concept of lomography. Okay, so when I attended Why Not version 1, or version 1 as I call it, I adopted the mentality of why not, even in running the organization in the community. Because I see that everybody in the Philippines, most of the people have that question about when you have an idea, they always ask you why, instead of asking why not pursue that idea, right? So in lomography, even though it's just a hobby, we adopted that mentality and make it into something more powerful. Lomography started in Europe. It started in Vienna. It was created after a Russian camera. It was a brand of camera. It's called Lomo. It was made in Russia in the 1980s. It's actually a socialist camera because it was created by the government to give all the people, all the masses, their own cameras. Because they see that the Japanese have their own, all those techie cameras in the 80s. But the Russians, they want to have something like that. In the 90s, in the early 90s, a group of Viennese, of students in Vienna discovered the Lomo camera in one of the flea markets in Eastern Europe. And they started using it, and they started shooting it with a different attitude compared to traditional photography. They had this mentality called don't think, just shoot. And that's basically casual shooting, not worrying about the results, not worrying about being criticized in the way you shoot in your photos. And they realized that they can create a movement out of it. In that time, the internet was just starting out. They created a community on the internet and created a company called the Demographic Society International. Okay, LSI, as it was called, started building a community on the internet before Flickr actually developed their system. And the early adopters realized that it's so powerful that people can collaborate and can share pictures worldwide. And at the same time, the attitudes toward the photos is not about criticizing the photos, but about saying good things. Even though the photos are underexposed, even though the colors are so different, even though the shot is kind of crappy, people give you good praise, and people say that, oh, this is a nice photo, because you capture something that is really part of your life. It's something that's really part of your daily life. So it's not set up, it's something that's spontaneous. Okay. Mark, nawala yung... Okay, so that's lomography. Sorry. 2003 is the year that we started lomography in the Philippines. During that time, one of our founders, at Maculangan, he was actually based in Italy. He started bringing in cameras, and he created an exhibit called, it's a one-man show about lomography in Europe. And at that time, his wife and partner, Katia Guerrero, started selling the cameras here. And one of our founders, Ian Rojas, started a Yahoo group. It's called Lomo Manila. And so that's how we started in 2003. The internet, again, played a big part because without a Yahoo group, you can't really converge a lot of people. So that's how the community started, and that's 2003. In that year, we had an exhibit in a bohemian area called Malate at that time. But it all changed now. So 2003 was a big year for us because that's when we invited everyone, people in the mailing list that we don't even know face to face, they participated in a big exhibit. Most of the photo exhibits that you've probably seen is composed of 1 or 2 photographers. This one, we were about 40 photographers. So that's big in terms of being a community. And these are people that, wow, these people are also in the fine arts. These are graphic artists. These are movie personalities. These are writers. And people who are into lomography are, it's composed of a very diverse set of people, the backgrounds. Some of them are artists per se, but some of them are, just about anybody, an IT professional, a doctor, a nurse, lawyers, and so on, and students. And lomography allows everyone to be peers, judged based on your profession. You're not judged based on your achievements in terms of photography. Everybody is treated as equal because all the photos are the same. It's part of your life. Okay, so that's 2003. After the exhibit, we kind of mellowed down a bit, and we kind of existed as a Yahoo group. 2006, we experienced a resurgence of Lomo love, as we call it. We had a big exhibit in Cubao Expo. That's in 2006. Cubao Expo, as you know, is now the haven of the artist community in the Philippines, and we see it as a hotbed of innovation and at the same time of artists who can freely express themselves. So we had 3 exhibits every year, but those are the major exhibits. In between, we probably have about 20 exhibits, 50 Lomo walks, trips here and there, and collaborations with various groups. So the big question is, how do we grow? We started as about 10 of us in the early days, or 10 to 20. Now we have memberships about more than 1,000. We have a forum called lomomanila.ph, and we have more than 1,000 members with about a few hundred active at any time. So how did we grow as a group? Of course, the internet. Lomo Manila is present in all the social networks, whether it's Facebook, Multiply, Flickr, even the unheard of. You check it out, and there's a Lomo Manila presence. And all these people, they communicate every day. The people do Twitter, they do Plurk. So lomography is not just photography. It's also a movement, it's a scene, it's an attitude. It's also a very strong community that takes advantage of what we have now, the technology of the internet. As a leader, I actually became a leader by accident. When we had our first exhibit, everybody's just like everybody. We're all peers. But then you realize somebody has to lead. And, why not? So that's the question is, if there's nobody wanting to lead, why not? If you can, then just do it. Having a marketing background, doing all these events in the corporate world, can make this fun. This is just a hobby, but I can make this fun. So the thing that made us grow is really that we have fun events. It's very casual. There's a lot of music. We do a lot of exhibits. There's Lomo walks here and there. Every week there's an event. The past several years. So that alone helped us increase in numbers. And at the same time, you meet new friends every day. It's a very open environment. Everybody's entitled to their own ideas. Everybody can come up with an idea and then propose it to the community, propose it to the group, and say, why not? Okay, let's do this. Anybody can participate. Again, we try not to be too serious about photography. We're serious about the hobby. We really like it, but being serious, lessens the fun. A lot of our members are professional photographers who use lomography as an outlet. There's also the charm of it being analog. It uses film. Siguro you have seen the cameras. It's not instantaneous. You don't see the results immediately. So there's that added thrill of waiting for your photos to come out after a few minutes, after a few days, and then waiting it for it to develop, and then you get to see that unexpected results. And it's all about happy accidents. So there's some retro charm to it. People are charmed with the experience of analog. For the younger generation, they didn't really experience film. So people like it in such a way that it's also an entry point into serious photography. People, after trying out Lomo, and they enjoy the hobby, and then they realize they can really get serious and buy a DSLR or get into more a serious type of photography. But some people try photography and then they get discouraged because they started coming out with crappy pictures and people tell them, oh, that's not good. So after that, you realize, oh, I don't want to shoot because I'm not good. In lomography, oh, okay, you post the photos, oh, that's good. Maybe some people think it's not, but people encourage you to shoot. The community is all about collaboration. We try to collaborate with other groups. Siguro we have collaborated with some of the groups here. In fact, there's a lot of familiar faces. Even within the groups, because there's a lot of, it's a very diverse mix of people, there's a lot of collaborations between various disciplines, various arts. So a simple community, a simple tribe about lomography can be a hotbed or, a foundation for other ideas. In fact, the other activities that we did is not just about photography. We did an event called Cinema Lomo. It's actually in our second year, where we make films, where we make movies out of snapshots. Okay. We also we're about to release our 4th online magazine. It's called Lo-Fi. It's because there's a lot of people who works in the publishing in the community. So we did. Why not do a magazine? Okay. So same thing with why not do a movie? And these types of things are innovations in the Philippines. Even the founder of Lomography, who is from Vienna, he came here. He actually is now with a Filipina. But he realized that there's so much innovation in the country and that the Filipinos are one of the biggest fans of lomography and actually one of the best lomographers in the world. So there's something to be proud of. We were able to visit the Lomo headquarters in Vienna, and there's even Filipinos working for Lomography Society International. Okay. So again, we don't have lofty goals. We don't have a serious cause. We're not an NGO. We're not. In fact, we don't have a clear structure. We're actually really tribal in nature. We're very organic. Everything is spontaneous, and we don't have money. But without money, it doesn't stop you from doing any events. It doesn't stop you from being, big. It doesn't stop you from working with other people. It doesn't stop you from creating things and, being part of a community. It's all about enjoying and have fun in a community. And we realized that we were able to build a playground and that everybody's welcome. Think of it as a playground. There's no bullies. You can easily play a game with everybody, You don't have to be afraid that you're going to turn out crappy photos. You can just have fun. So why not shoot without thinking? That's basically it. Thank you.
All right.